Rafa Rispo of Far From Vesuvius podcast, Ralph Pizarro of Calcio Napoli Club.
We are perhaps looking at the beginnings of the modern Classico, a fixture with an ever-increasing rivalry and tension.
For Juventus, they face the league's best of the rest, Napoli, and now the break is on. Danilo! Higuain, lovely turn! 3-0 Juventus for Napoli to come back. Manolas for 3-1. Lozano 3-2! Oh, it's on! Can they find an equaliser? Oh, they can! Just incredible! Di Lorenzo on this epic comeback. Oh, Koulibaly! A horror show for Napoli right at the death. Juventus 4, Napoli 3.
A match that surely Napoli must win. Takes the corner. Koulibaly! He's done it! Kalidou Koulibaly for Napoli! It is an absolutely priceless goal. Neapolitan joy in Turin.
Everything will be determined and settled from 12 yards now. It's Milik to win it, and he does! Napoli win the Coppa Italia. Pure joy for the Azzurri. Disappointment for Dybala and Ronaldo.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Ralph and Ralph Rant. I am Ralph Pizarro with my co-host Rafa Rispo and Marco Messina. Welcome, joining us from IFTV. How are you, Marco?
I'm doing good. That intro got me pumped. I'm inside like a Warner Brothers movie right now, so that was incredible. Big ups to you guys.
Thank you for that. Thank you. You know, we try to keep it nice out here. Somewhat of an underwhelming game today, but before we get into the rant, let's go with some quick stats. All right, for the boys and girls at home. Just a second. All right, so starting with our lineup today, Gattuso once again goes with a 4-2-3-1. Ospina on the back. Pretty good job from Ospina today, despite the 2 goals. We have Ruiz starting off at the left with Koulibaly. Killer game, in my opinion. We're definitely going to talk a lot about him with Manolas right next to him and Di Lorenzo. Bakayoko and Demi take the midfield with Insigne, Zielinski, and Lozano lining up next to each other up top with Petagna on the tippy top over there. Mertens sees a little bit of action today towards the 70th minute, as well as Llorente, Elmas, and then Politano as well. Came in a little bit too late, in my opinion, but he was on. As for the game stats, somewhat even in possession. Juventus a little bit more with 56%, Napoli at 44%. 9 chances for Juventus, half that for Napoli at 5. Somewhat of a clean game. Zielinski did pick up 1 yellow card. And then 10 corners. I believe that stat's wrong. It's all right. 10 corners and 3 for Napoli. Going on to the shots, 11 total shots for Juventus. 4 missed, 3 on target, but 2 of them counted. So, hey, they won the game with that. 8 for Napoli, 3, and then 2 blocked. Boy, oh boy. Marco, we'll start with you. How'd you feel about that game, man? Like, it was somewhat of an underwhelming few minutes, but...
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I kept saying the whole time, it didn't feel like a final. Like, I don't know if it was the Wednesday aspect or both teams just didn't feel like it was. Definitely underwhelming. And I think from Napoli's perspective, they didn't look like they wanted as much as Juventus. And I really think it came down to that. I felt like the mentality from Napoli wasn't there while Juve approached the match in a better manner. And I think the most disappointing thing probably would be that, you know, Juventus were up, and in about like the 68th, 69th minute, you know, I was expecting for Gattuso to just, you know, it's a final, we got to go for it. You know, just throw Politano, let's go, Llorente, you know, a lot of options on the bench.
Right.
And they never did. Exactly. And until like the last like 5 to 10 minutes, there really was no sense of urgency from Napoli to win the game. So kind of disappointed in that aspect from them. I thought it was poor decision making. But it is what it is. It happens. The game is passed. And I think overall we could say that Juventus deserved it, though.
All right, Rafa, what do you think?
Well, 100% they deserved it, Marco. And Napoli were just not, you know, they were not the same team that they were on the weekend. And that's a problem that, you know, within the Napoli camp that we go through. And I'm sure you know from covering all of Serie A, we win big, we get this momentum, and then when it's important and it counts, we fall flat, you know, and it's a big mentality issue that we have. And you know, I watched Insigne's eyes as he took that penalty kick in the second half, man, and I knew that Szczesny was either going to save it or he was going to miss the penalty kick, and you know, I just saw it in his eyes. You could just tell, like, Like he's wonderful when he can be and when he's on, but when it comes down to crunch time, the mentality's off. I thought at the end we might have been able to get lucky at the end there to send it to extra time. But credit to Juventus because they absolutely 100% deserved it. And I'm $25 in the hole now because now
I'm $12.50 in the hole.
We're $12.50 in the hole now.
I didn't win any money in this, man. Come on.
You should have, man. You should. It's just, like Marco said, I kind of agree with him. Where it's just like, where was the fire, man? Where was that grinta that we all talk about? I didn't see it for a little while, and in fact, by kind of like the tail end of the first half, you almost see Napoli go like into a defensive shell
regress.
a bit.
Yep.
Right. It felt a little bit like the Super Coppa. No, I'm sorry, the Coppa Italia last year, where we kind of parked the bus a little bit against Juventus. I feel like I started seeing that a little bit. I don't know if you guys are with me here, but I didn't see that fire, man. I didn't see that fire, and I'm not gonna get into. Well, we'll get into Gattuso in the second half with those changes because I told Marco I was with him live. I was in his chat live on the IFTV today, and I was like, today's going to be a big coin toss. It's the big coin toss. I don't think anybody could have really predicted the scoreline. But as soon as I didn't see Politano come on today for Petagna, because I don't feel like Petagna had a great game. I've defended him a whole lot. I gave him beast of the match last game. I love the guy, but just today he wasn't there. I wanted to see Politano much sooner, and I think Juve got a little lucky with him not being on the field today, or, coming in at the 85th minute. I don't know what do you expect from somebody at that moment. Like,
I agree. Yeah, I definitely agree.
Yeah, I feel like when the first goal went in, right? That's when Gattuso should have made his substitutions.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And that's a problem that we've been having as well this season, Marco. It's Gattuso's inconsistency with the substitutions because sometimes he makes these subs and he looks like an absolute masterclass. Petagna's got 2 match winners in Serie A off the bench. He's got 4 goals altogether off the bench, and a match winner in the Coppa Italia off the bench. So sometimes he makes these moves that are great and timely and necessary, and then sometimes like he just doesn't. And I really wish Napoli would have shown a little more fight. Because this is a trophy. At the end of the day, this is a trophy. Now, nothing changes in the league scheme of things, but Juventus lift the trophy over Napoli, and that's not what we want to see. No matter what kind of trophy it is.
Right.
And Marco, what do you think about Juventus's game? Because I think Napoli played to the way they always do, where it's like. They fight and scratch and claw with 10 minutes left, and it's too late. But what did you think of Juve and how they handled it?
Yeah, I agree. I think that Napoli also got the short end of the stick after the Inter game. I think that really that woke Juventus up. There was no more slip-ups for them. And we were saying this even before. It's like, how many times do you see Juventus slip up twice in a row? Like you do, like there's teams that catch them, but doing it back-to-back is really tough. So I think that they adapted well. I would also say that Pirlo didn't do a great job with his substitutions, in my opinion, too. I thought he was risking a lot by not taking Kulusevski out earlier. Of course, when it goes in your favor and then Morata scores in the last second, you look like a genius, and that happens, obviously. And it could have went the same way with Gattuso. Who knows? Right. But I think from both sides, obviously, younger managers, it's so funny to see Pirlo versus Gattuso. Because I know. That's my childhood. That's literally my childhood. Yeah. It's it was so strange
That's
for
my
me.
20s.
Exactly. So like for me, that aspect was big. But I think Juventus, they got it right in the midfield, man. Finally, the Artur and McKennie are great players, in my opinion. I think that they're underrated. I know Juventus fans were not happy when they came in. I see football in a different way. I love guys that read the game before it happens and can anticipate things. So I think that that's really where it started getting lost. And then it's not to say that Juventus were brilliant. Like they weren't. Like how many chances did they create? In the first half, there was no chances created. Chucky had that amazing diving header which,
from Deme.
Guess what? Chesney's an incredible keeper. Like he is. And he saves Juventus from time and time again. They get the goal and they win the game. But I think Juventus, the good thing from them was, yes, Artur, McKennie, and Chesney were very good, but they had a better approach. And I think that's really where Napoli and Juventus lost it.
Yeah, big shout out to Szczesny. I mean, he made 2 huge saves. I mean, to me, game-changing saves. It first was the header from Lozano. That came from a great cross from Deme, big effort from Lozano. And then at the, what was it, like the 91st minute? Again, it was like from Politano to Lozano.
Yeah.
How did he? Where did that leg come from? Like, where did it come from? He was on the ground, sticks his leg out.
Crazy.
Holy moly, man! Shout out to that guy right there. I think he saved, quite possibly saved Juve, man.
Yeah, absolutely saved Juve. Absolutely
saved them. With any other keeper, I mean, that's not. I mean, and Ospina did a great job too. Like, look at the goal. I mean, Manolas, miskicks the ball, goes from a corner kick, hits Bakayoko's shoulder, and falls right to them. It's easy to say how much better, that it wasn't a great game. Like, it wasn't. In all accounts, it wasn't. Szczesny saved Juventus. Are we going to talk about the PK Insigne?
Dude,
we have to. Quentin writes us.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead, Rafa. No. Go ahead.
Before we get into Insigne with the penalty kick, I want to touch on the fact that this felt like a midweek Coppa Italia game in the quarterfinal or something.
Like a pickup game
going on right now. But the anticipation of this game was so high. Like I was so pumped for it at the beginning, and Marco, maybe you can agree with me on this, but because I have this kind of take on this particular match. Normally, a Super Coppa is in the beginning of the season and it kicks off the season, or it's in before Christmas and everyone's going on vacation or what have you. So either you're in like preseason form when you're playing, or you're in mid-season form, but you're ready. Your head's at on vacation. To have this game wedged in the middle of all this Coppa Italia, Serie A, and then Europe is coming up soon. Like right in the middle of it, in the situation that the two clubs are in, so close to each other in the league, and still have to play each other again, that makeup game. I thought this was going to be like a knockdown, drag-out brawl between these two teams. And in the first half, I was yawning. And then in the second half, we get a mistake like we did with Bakayoko. And then, we don't press. Like Napoli never, when it's either they're winning like 5-6-0 or they look like they're winning 6-0, but they're down or they're tied, and there's no urgency. There's no urgency. It's a mentality issue for this club. But I really was excited about this game. Now, Insigne makes that penalty kick. We might be talking about a whole different scenario.
We might be still watching the game right now. We're watching the PKs right now.
Might have finished the penalty kicks. Who knows?
You're right.
But how do you feel about that? How important this game seemed. And then once it started getting rolling, it was just like meh. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I agree. And that's what I thought too. I was saying there's so much on display. The whole controversy of when they didn't play. Yeah. I thought they were going to come out fiery. And I think it's a weird season, man. Like I've stopped like questioning stuff. Like the way how many days in a row you have to play and the amount of games. It's crazy. So I feel for the players. I mean, look at Cuadrado. Tested negative this morning. He showed up a couple hours before the match, and then he pops into play after not training.
And he played really well. He didn't play too bad. He played
well. So it's just strange. Like it's a strange year, and I feel that. And we've seen that performance from everybody, like from every team, even the ones that are like favorite. I mean, besides Milan, no, actually, even Milan with Juventus, like every team has gone through that. Like Inter has went through it, where everybody went crazy saying they're going to lose. Juventus has obviously went through it. Milan went through it when they lost to Juventus. Even though despite having so many players out, and now Napoli, like it's a normal part of this season that's going to be tough. Yeah. So I wouldn't
very unpredictable.
Yeah,
super
very unpredictable. Very.
I mean, I've been Rafa. I always stressed energy a lot, and sometimes you get at me like you and Ken, but I was like, once every 3 days you're playing, there's no way that a team is going to be able to keep up that much intensity constantly. Playing once every 3-4 days,
I agree. I agree to an extent, Ralph. But
I don't disagree with the lineup today. I knew this lineup.
Milan are freaking going nuts, and Inter too. Well, Inter has the benefit of not being in Europe anymore, so they have that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Team,
but look at Milan. It's nuts. We could use that as an excuse, but at the same time, everybody's got the same scenario, really. Yeah. And Marco, check this out. We worked this out where, like, for Napoli and Juve to reschedule that match, somebody has to fall out of a tournament, because if Napoli and Juve were to go as far as they could, like let's say reach a final of the Coppa, and like they both reach finals in Europe, and then they have Serie A. There's not a single break in between until the FIFA break in March. Not a single one. We're playing every 4 days for the rest of the season until May.
That's crazy.
So there's a possibility that this match might have to be played after everything is over. It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
I don't know, man. But I hope this is not a precursor to what we will see with Napoli Juve for the rest, because I don't want to see when we play Juve.
Well, we hope
in the right. Well. I mean, listen, it's a Napoli show, all right. I swear, the next time we come up against Juve, I better not see that performance again. Like, I don't mind losing, but I don't want to lose like that. I would prefer to bring the game to the team. To try. I didn't see the enthusiasm.
I know what you're saying. It was late. And Gattuso's substitutions were fine, but they were late. We didn't have much of an option.
Like
we got to throw your end down there.
It keeps happening there. Why do I have to wait? I'm just going to start turning on these games in the 70th minute and watch them, because that's when Napoli feel like showing up. And thank God. Listen, with the game, the Milan Juve game, and those two teams, in my opinion, went at each other. And I'll admit, I was a little bit nervous today with Juve, and I thought if that team comes out, man, they're gonna kill us. I don't know what happened, but it ended up the way it ended up. Maybe it was a little stale. I don't know if because it was Super Coppa and it wasn't points towards the league, but
no excuse. You go out there to win. These professionals want to win a trophy, no matter what. You go out to win. You have to put it. You have to put it up there right now. Tommy, all right. Quentin made a comment a little bit further up there, Ralphie. If you want to show it,
is it this one?
It makes absolutely no sense. We have no urgency when Rodino is our coach, snatches up Lippi, and he needs to do that with our players. Like, absolutely agree. I agree. Where's the intensity? When we need it. You know what I mean? Because he shows. It's funny because he looks like he's down 4-0 when we're 4-0 up at halftime, right? And that's his intensity showing. But here it's like he sits and waits for substitutions, and it's not showing the urgency and the intensity that he was on the field. And this is the first time I'm really kind of criticizing Gattuso when it comes to that, because I'm always a fan of his and I'm always like trying to push for him, but it's the truth. He just doesn't show it sometimes.
I agree.
Mark, let me ask. I'm sorry. Did you want to add something? Go ahead.
No, I wasn't. No, it's good.
Well, I was going to ask you, who was your favorite for Juve today? Like, who was your guy today?
I know who it was.
Yes.
It was Artur, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You are on the Artur train, brother. I was watching.
You know why? Bro, it's just I get into it's so funny. Like I love this. I love coming on your guys' show, and because I love all the teams. Like at the end of the day, like yes, I grew up a Juventus fan, and Del Piero was my idol, so of course that was my team. But I love to respect and see other opinion. And I had Juventus fans on me for months. I mean, almost years now, just because I haven't been a fan of Rabiot and Ramsey and Bentancur, who to me are not great players. They never have been. They were never of the level of Juventus. They wouldn't be playing at any other team in Serie A. I mean, I can name so many midfielders that are better from him. And then the second that Artur comes in and he had like one poor game, everybody's bashing on the guy. And I'm like, are you kidding me? For 2 years, you have let Rabiot and Ramsey get away with this BS. And listen, coming to Serie A is hard. Like, how many players have we seen who come to Serie A and they struggle? Like, struggle with fitness, struggle with getting times, adapting to the league. And for me, the way that I see football is you have to look beyond what's seen in front of you. Like, it's so easy to say what just happened, but you need to see those glimpses. And for me, Artur shows the glimpses of having the right idea and seeing the game before everybody else and a couple paces to everybody else. Szczesny's probably the obvious one, and Szczesny probably made more of a difference for why Juventus didn't lose this match to Napoli. Right. But I give it to Artur also for that chip on my shoulder that wants to be like, look how good he really was. Mm-hmm. And what I want to say about, since we're talking about Gattuso and the substitutions and this, and I already saw in the comments about Insigne. Yeah, you guys might disagree with me, but I know everybody looks at Insigne and he's going to be the one. Oh, we lost this game because of Insigne. But like leading up to that, how many chances did Napoli have? For me, the mentality was wrong the entire time. So yes, I'm not going to justify. Okay, you missed a penalty kick. It happens. Like the best players have missed penalty. Ronaldo's missed penalty kicks too. Like I'm not going to say it's okay. I understand being mad at that. It's fine. But at the same time, just to be mad at that penalty kick miss would overlook what underlying problem was, which that the intensity was not there. The ideas were not there. They were not pushing for that. So yes, the penalty miss on paper is so easy to see, but it was Napoli not going for the win. Like at the end of the day, that's the reason why they didn't win the match. It's not that Insigne missed the penalty kick.
Right.
You know, Haydar put up, you put up Haydar over there. Why Petagna stayed 72 minutes while doing nothing. Absolutely agree. You could easily take Petagna off, put Llorente in, and then, throw Politano in later. You know what I mean? And Mertens came in. You could have put Mertens up front there. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that Napoli don't have that killer instinct that other teams, show at times, and we see it flashes of it, and then it's gone. And it's been a mentality issue for a long time since Saudi as well. It's just the way it is.
Mm-hmm. Rafa, we spoke about consistency a whole lot as far as Napoli goes. I mean, I think more and more we're starting to need that a little bit more and more. Like, you got to show up to these games, man. You got to put in as much as a full 90 minutes, as much of 90 minutes as you can, not 25, not 30. Yeah. You can't expect to win games making subs in the 85th minute. 85th minute is like you want to give Trophy a little bit of time on the field in the 85th minute. That's what that's for. Mm-hmm. So who I want to know, and I'll send this question to the both of you. I'll send this question to the to the chat. Like, who's responsible to get this team going? Is it our captain? Is it our coach? Is it the administration? Because, Juve shows up with a win, lose, rain, shine. They were there. Where's Napoli been? Because I've been complaining about this for weeks now.
I really think that Juve needed this win. Yeah, Juve needed this win more than Napoli, I feel.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to make an excuse for us not winning the Super Coppa. We should have won the Super Coppa. I always want to beat a big rival in the final. You know what I mean? But I do feel like Juve needed this win more, and they took this game more seriously. If Napoli were to take this game a little more seriously, then they would have pushed harder and they would have won this game, or they would have at least tied it up to get to extra time or what have you. I mean, it is a Gattuso thing. It's a manager thing. But we saw the same stuff with Saudi. We saw the same stuff where they get to this level and then, let's not talk about Ancelotti, but it has to be management. It has to be, because the players are good, man. We just kicked Fiorentina's ass 6-0, dude. And I know Fiorentina's not something special this season, really, but they beat Juve at 3-0.
Yeah, exactly.
They beat Juve at 3-0. So I don't want to hear it. I think that these players need to be up every single game. And we're lucky that this had no implications on Serie A or Coppa Italia. We're lucky, or you know what I mean? We're lucky about that.
Yeah, I think you said it well, though. And like I'm alluding to, if Juventus lost this match, it would have been hell. And I think all the players knew that. They all knew that this match was incredibly important. And not to diminish it from Napoli, but I just think that Juventus just had that understanding going into this match that it was a lot more important. It kind of came up at a bad moment. And I know I see a question from Zeno who said, how do you guys think this game will impact
let's put it up there, guys.
Yeah. Am I crazy to say I don't think it really does? I mean, I'm sure Napoli, it's going to piss Napoli off more and they're going to want their revenge. But with the season that we're seeing, you can't even predict a day before who's going to be there, what lineups we're going to have, who's playing. It's such a toss-up that I don't even feel comfortable to say how much it – yes, Napoli will want to win more. I definitely think that that's part of it. But it's so hard to say, how it really will impact it, because – let's say you never know who's going to be missing, who's missing from Napoli, who's missing from Juventus. I think ultimately the world in 2021 is going to impact that game more than this match.
Yeah, absolutely. Dude, look at Spezia. All of a sudden you can't beat Spezia now. You know what I mean? Like they beat Napoli, then they beat Sampdoria, then didn't they win the game this weekend too? And then they beat Roma. Yeah. I mean, come on. It's very unpredictable this season. It really is. Very unpredictable.
Agree.
Guys, well,
you're right there, Ralph.
I'm just trying to catch my breath, man. I'll be honest, I was pretty calm for most of the game, because it was just a bit underwhelming. And then my brother got home, and he just sees me yelling at the TV for the last 10 minutes. I'm just like pissed.
Right.
I mean, I'm just cursing.
Right.
And
I'm really
like,
the last 10 minutes
effing Gattuso. And
the emotions were high. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And Neapolitan's got this thing with blood pressure and going nuts. But but I just,
for sure.
I don't know, man. I think all has been said, you know, and I just hope that in the games in the Campeonato, these two teams face each other a little bit harder because it's fun. I think it's good for the sport. It's good for the fans. It's good for the rivalry. I want to see a little bit more. I'll give the excuse that it was just it was because of the Super Coppa, and it's January. I don't know. These times they still got
no excuses.
It's like they need warm weather in Italy or something to just fucking perform or something. I don't know what it is, but guys.
Well, Marco, so let's talk about you, man. Let's talk about you, dude. Because the last time I saw you in person, you were not in a relationship with a freaking Italian calcio team. You were this big deal that was getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And now you guys are huge, man. You, Mike, and everybody over there. I have to give props to you guys. Look at this. Check this out. Boom. Right?
Beautiful. I noticed.
I had to buy this shirt, dude.
I love you, man.
This was great.
Thank you, man. We appreciate it.
You guys, merchandise is awesome. The collab with Campobasso, absolutely amazing. I saw the trailer. I can't wait to see what you guys put out in the spring. I can't wait to see what Campobasso does now. You know what I mean? And I'm always gonna be watching them now. You know,
You're too
how
kind,
do you guys do it, man? How do you guys do it?
You're too kind. First of all, that was such a nice intro, honestly. And you know, it's honestly thanks to like people like you guys too for building the culture community. I think that for so long, like years ago, like nobody, you know, we didn't have much of this. Like in English, like this was not happening. So like everybody being together and being a part of that, I mean, is incredible. And like your support and all that stuff. It's exciting, man. It's exciting with Campobasso. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be really crazy. Unfortunately, a little pull on me right now because if we weren't in the world that we are now, they're leaving for Italy to go there today. Unfortunately, we're not able to travel with this situation as it is, but hopefully real soon. We're planning to go soon, and it's going to be exciting. Create like a little documentary series with Campobasso because the storylines that they have is incredible. Like for any fan, like even if you just beyond football, you know, like I think that people will be interested in the project. Also, as like an Italian American myself, I just love the story of the owner, like Matt Rizzetta, who like went from nothing. And I was reading his book last night too, like before I went to bed, and I was texting him like, this is like incredible. Like his story at 26 to just like quit his job and like go all in on trying to pursue his career is like so inspirational. So I think there's like so many great storylines, so many things that we could all learn from, and it's going to be an exciting roller coaster.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know, I mentioned that, you know, when I last saw you and Mike, I have an amazing story for Ralph and for everybody out there. You guys, when Napoli came to the United States in August of 2019, far from Vesuvius was able to get out there. I was able to go to Miami. I have family in South Florida. So we went to the game as fans, dude. And, you know, I was walking down to my seats where we were all in the Napoli section. You remember over there with Phil and Ando and Emilio and everybody. John Boccio was there. And
nobody threw anything at you, Marco, right? No, it was not.
No, Marco,
you're being relatively civil. See, all right.
Let me.
Hey, I just making sure. I wasn't that.
People flocked to him.
Okay.
Like
shielding.
this.
Antonio shielding you. Okay.
So I went as a fan with my family, my dad, my two cousins, right? But I'm walking down and everyone's like, Rafa. My dad's looking at me like, look at this fucking asshole. Look at this guy. Everyone knew who I was. And I'm like, well, shit, there's Marco and Mike from IFTV. And I went up to you guys, and you guys were the absolute best. You guys were the best, man. Massimo and me, we had a contest. I won the shirt. I beat the crap out of him. Yeah. No one's going to top me in Napoli or anything. I'm sorry, it's not happening. Sorry, Massimo, I love you. But then I told him, I said, hey, you know, we're going to be in Michigan. Let's hit up. Let's link up. We exchange numbers. We get to Michigan. We do our thing. We get to the press box. I ask Insigne the questions. I ask Ancelotti the questions. We watch the practice, everything. We did all that stuff. It was great. that night we have basically a get together, a group get together where we just sent an invite to anybody at a beer garden.
Yeah.
And we're texting with these guys. Where are you? Marco and Mike. You might have to take over from here because I don't remember, but all I remember is that you guys showed up late with no luggage, with no food, with no nothing, and we get there and you text me and you're like, yeah, he goes, is there food there? I said, nah, man, there's no food. He goes, oh shit. All right, so they get there, they introduce themselves, they leave to get some food, they come back, but these guys had so much, they had travel issues, they had all this stuff, they lost their luggage, and I'm telling you right now, they showed up with smiles like this. They were awesome with the fans. They were awesome with us. They were just, you guys absolutely impressed me. I don't have to agree with everything you guys say. I don't. And you know, everybody does. But I was like, I can't freaking believe the dedication and the absolute love for this sport that they have, that they're doing this. And it got me really like motivated the hell out of me, guys. So you guys, I mean, I don't know. You guys are like the shit.
Definitely. Honestly, it's too kind.
And the things that you do now, because I'm a little older than you, and the things that you do now, I wanted to do when I was a kid. This was my dream to bring Serie A to the United States, and I wanted to be a sports journalist. Ask my mother; she'll tell you. I wanted to be a journalist. I wanted to be Bonetti on ESPN, and I wanted to be what you're doing, dude. By the way, I heard the Bonetti episode that you were just on Bonetti too. I'm a patron of his. We chat privately too. He's amazing, also just the best. And I feel like Culture's got the best people in the States representing all teams, the whole league, everything. And you're spearheading it, man. Absolutely.
Culture guys in the house right now too. So
absolutely.
I need like a
that energy.
Glass of milk with.
If we had that energy, besides not eating and all the beer that we started drinking, because that was like the only thing that was available for us, it was a spirit of the Napoli fans. Like I just saw a comment that Quentin, who reminded me of the story that we recorded, where we're like, all right, this is everybody else at the bar, and then this is the Napoli fans, and then
That's right.
We were literally, because like the second we left, we died. Like we literally did. I remember so clearly how dead we were, but we were living off the emotions of the Napoli fans because they're the most passionate. So it's thanks to you guys.
Well, that's a great compliment.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Well, guys, I think that's all she wrote for this post-game rant tonight, man. Juve winning against Napoli 2-0 for the Super Coppa. Marco Messina in the house from IFTV. Marco, thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you.
Good luck to you on this journey with Campobasso and to your podcast, man. We appreciate you coming with us tonight.
Say hi to Mike for me too, man, and the rest of the guys.
I will. I'll say hi to Mike Manolas. He's mad
Mike
right
Manolas.
Yeah, I heard him talking. Ryan was talking to your boy Ryan over there.
He's a big Napoli fan today, right?
Exactly.
Yo, your dude Ryan, man, he was cracking me up.
He's crazy, bro.
Because he said, "Oh, what a chance!" And dude, your YouTube and my stream were linked perfectly, man.
Oh, really?
I chance perfectly.
Oh, okay.
So
nice.
I'm like, I got you in my ear here, and then I got Matteo and them over there. I got another headphone in. And I hear him going nuts, and I'm like, "Oh shit! What did I miss something?
Yeah, right.
Did it lag? Did something happen?"
We're kicking him out.
I wasn't sure if he was talking about the Man U or the Napoli game at that point. Anyway, guys. But that's all the time we have for tonight, guys. Again, Marco Messina, thank you again to all the viewers. We'll see you next week. Ciao, Forza Napoli, sempre.
Sempre.